Okay, altitudes. Altitudes and orthocenters. An altitude is nothing more than the height of a triangle. So, and we're going to construct these with compass and a straight edge. But for example, let me just move some of this stuff out of the way. If I'm talking about the altitude from vertex A, I am talking about the height of the triangle from this corner down. Now, when I say down, it probably would help if I could rotate it a little bit. So this would be down. So coming straight down from this, it looks like the altitude would be like right about there. And that's the height of, I'll sketch a little line, but that's kind of where it would be. Looking at this other one, however, now what I've been telling students is imagine that it's on a flat surface. Okay, so we're going from here down, but the only way to go down is you have to imagine, and I tell students it's kind of like a building. Okay, imagine this is a building and this is the ground. What is the height of the building? Well, you don't measure the height measuring this line. You don't even measure this line, but you measure from the top straight down, and that's the altitude of this particular triangle from this point of view, from this perspective. That's just from A. So we're going to have to do that, and the way this works, maybe you remember a while ago you had an assignment where you had to draw a line that was perpendicular to another line. So I'm going to just remind everyone. You had to draw a line perpendicular to AB, but going through a point that was not on the line. And the way to do that is you would set your compass center to be here, and your radius would have to be at least this long, and draw a circle. So I will adjust my compass to be, it can't be any longer than that because it has to intersect. So you're really trying to see where a circle would intersect that line in two places. And then you're going to use those two intersections to draw two more marks. So I'm using that intersection. I'll draw a mark here and another mark there. And I'm not sure if you can see them, but this is the other intersection from there. This connecting line from P to this other intersection, and it's kind of really hard for me to get my eye on that. This is a line perpendicular to AB going through that point, and perpendicular is like this. Now, take it one step further and imagine that this is a triangle, and you don't necessarily have to see that line, but this is the altitude of that triangle. That's what I'm saying right here. We need the altitude. That's what I was saying right here. We need the altitude of that triangle, and we need the altitude of this triangle. And I'm going to show you how to do that in all of these, in this whole paper. Okay, so I'm going to erase some of this stuff, and we'll get going with it. So first of all, I want you to get used to the concept of drawing an extension line. So for example, if I'm going from A to this side, it has to hit this side. Sometimes it doesn't hit the side, but sometimes, like over here, you're going to have to imagine this line extended. So why not just draw it? So the way I do it is I put my pencil on the line so I know where the straight edge is going to hit, and I just draw a little bit past it. That's all. So when I use my compass now, put your compass on A, on the vertex there, and extend it enough to where it's going to cross that line you drew there, and then wherever else it draws. Now it just happens to hit that corner. That's okay, not a problem. Now I'm going to move my compass and come over to this intersection right there. I think that's it. And I'll draw a line out in the open. The idea is that I'm drawing it big enough to intersect with this other one that I'm drawing, like that. And again, try to imagine that point we talked about, AB, a point not on the line, perpendicular to it. So this is that other point, and now I'm going to draw from this vertex A to that intersection right there. And I don't need to draw the whole line because I'm just drawing the altitude. I don't need to draw it all the way to there. This is the altitude and it's perpendicular. So that one's done. And I didn't quite get it on the A, but that's okay. You get the idea. With this next one, since A, it looks like this angle is much more than a 90 degree. If it was 90 degrees or less, then I wouldn't have to do this. I probably still would, but it's not completely necessary. But I am going to draw, in this one, I do need to draw an extension because my altitude's probably going to be right there. So I want to draw a line that's maybe like that. And then I'm going to put my compass back on A, and I'm going to extend it bigger just so I have an idea. So make a mark there and make a mark there. So I have two marks. These two marks are equidistant from A. Put my compass on this intersection where it intersects that. I'll draw one of my marks, switch it over to this side, draw the other mark. Now I have an intersection. Use my pencil and straight edge, connect with A, and line it up. Should be right about there. I'm not going to draw the whole line, I'm just going to draw this. So this is the altitude. That's the altitude of that triangle. All right, moving on. Let's try another. Now the orthocenter is the intersection of altitudes. So here we did only one altitude, construct the altitude. Here, on these, you're going to have to draw at least two. So you'd be good enough just drawing two, the intersection of two altitudes. When you get to the other side, it's going to you'll have instructions that say draw all three, and so we only have to draw two on numbers 3, 4, and 5. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to do the altitudes on this one, and I'll go through the others, but I don't think I need to do all four of these. I'll just show you. So I'm going to start with this one, with this angle and that side. So this side here I will need to extend, because remember the altitude is going to come down perpendicular to this line, or in other words the line containing this side of the triangle. Keep in mind this is on an invisible line that you can't see. That's just a line segment. So put my pencil there, line it up as parallel as I can there, and I'm going to go under that dot and a little bit past, because now I'm going to put my compass point there, and I don't need to have it so big. I can definitely make it smaller, and it will hit there and there, so that's good. So I'll make a mark there, I'll make a mark there, switch, make a mark below, and switch, and there, and now I've got one altitude ready to draw from this one to here. Now something I need to point out, I'm losing my, something I need to point out is, I know, okay, I can visualize that this straight down is going to go this way, and then this one also is going to go straight down from this line here. If I imagine this line here going this way, an altitude from this line is going to go perpendicular right there. So I know they're going to intersect somewhere out here. That's why I drew this line so big. So I will erase those marks and I'll draw straighter ones with my protractor. So I'm going to take my protractor, I'm going to extend that line. Put your pencil on the line, rotate it until it looks parallel, then draw. You don't have to draw dark. A lot of people are drawing really dark and they leave grooves and permanent marks on their paper. I know it's going to go somewhere this way, somewhere out there, but I now need to put my compass here and make my marks. It looks like the mark I have might be good enough, because I can make a mark right there and swing around and make another arc. So I use that first one to make, let's see, it keeps sliding, to make a mark out here. Keep track of the one I just drew. So that's the second one, and I only need to draw 2 anyway, but that's the idea. Put my compass there and I rotate up to that. Looks good. And I go here, and now even though this is the altitude from this point to that point, this is where they intersect, and that's the orthocenter. So the orthocenter is right here. The orthocenter is the intersection of altitudes. And you only have to draw 2 of them. By the way, I did not make my perpendicular mark. You should get used to making the perpendicular marks. I will come back to number 4 if there's time, if this video is not too long. We're already going on almost 11 minutes now. Let me flip over. Number 5 and 6 are the same thing. You're going to draw 2 of them. Here, on number 7, we're going to draw all 3. So I'm going to draw all 3 of these. If I can get my paper above my keyboard, we'll just draw all 3. So again, I may not need to draw an extension line. I'm just going to I'm going to start with this angle going to that line. So I'll make sure my compass is short enough to intersect both sides, both opposite sides. And a good way to do it is to set your compass to be the length of the shortest side. So if I do that, it's the length of the shortest side, maybe. And then I'll make a mark there just to confirm, and a mark there. So I've got those 2. And then I come back, use those marks, make a mark there, switch here, and make a mark there, connect them. Okay, there's 1. So I took care of that one. I'm now going to do this one, which means I probably will make an extension of that line, because guessing it's going to be there, and it's going to be very hard to find where they intersect. So I'm going to make just an extension. It helps. The further apart your marks are, the straighter your lines can be. That may not make a whole lot of sense, but you'll see. So now I'm going to rotate my paper because I'm going to deal with this angle and that line, and I'm right-handed. So I'm going to make my compass at least out to hit there, and it'll hit there. So that's good separation there. That's good. And then I'll move to this mark. And I'm guessing it's going to be out here, so I'm just going to make my mark there and there. And that's number 2. Connect the vertex, which you can't see. Go here, rotate. Looks like right about there. Okay, so that's where the orthocenter is going to be. This is perpendicular, and I did not draw the other one. This is perpendicular to that side. And I'm going to do one more because I need to draw all 3. I'm going to go from this side to this side, and again, I think I need to draw that extension. And so I'm going from this angle to this opposite side. So my pencil on the line, rotate it to where it looks like it's parallel, and extend it some like that. Then I'm on this one. This compass measurement may be good enough. Oh, it is. It's good enough. I'm going to use that and that right there, and then switch to that line and make a mark out here. Switch to that one and there. And if I did it right, it should go through that point. So I'll rotate to that intersection right there. It looks like I might be a little bit off, but oh, not too bad. So they do intersect right here. This is the orthocenter, and this is now the intersection of 3 altitudes. So here's one altitude, this one right here. Please don't go over them, make them darker, but I'm just showing you for purposes of the video. That's another altitude. And this is another altitude. Right there. All right, so that's how you do it. The video is already too long. It looks like we're around over 15 minutes, so you do the same thing here. I've already shown how to do 2 of them. You will have to, it will never hurt to draw extension lines for all of them, but please use a lighter touch when you're making your lines, okay? All right, hope that helps.